He from the Bronx. I know him since he was a kid.
This is for congratulations for his engagement, man.
No.
You took it to the desert. You taking it back. The promo was
because I'm looking at it. Listen, I'm looking at it, and congratulations, but my mano. What did the good do the sandwich? The Ak way?
The Aki way.
Don't get the Aki way. Stay focused. The real princess of Dubai, not the fake one.
I didn't know they had a fake one.
No, they have them. Every time you met a Muslim guy that got money, or Arab guy, they always tell you they the prince or they the this. They all full of shit. They just own a business where they make a lot of money. This guy really got engaged to the Princess Al Maktoum of Dubai. Don't mess up. Or we gonna find you in Sudan. Don't mess up. Sudan is where they're not coming to rescue you. Yo, for you, because I know I'm good for a loan. I go to French Montana and get a loan now. Like, I'm good for the loan. That ain't even 188 million. That's trillions. He's part of a... Yo.
In hip-hop, weddings are usually private, intimate, maybe even low-key. But when French Montana tied the knot, it wasn't just a wedding. It was an event that felt royal. A ceremony surrounded by wealth, legacy, and whispers of power. People called it love. Others called it strategy. But behind the celebration, behind the headlines, behind the luxury, there was concern. And one voice stood out louder than the applause. Fat Joe, a mentor, a brother, a veteran who's seen what fame does to love and what money does to people. Joe wasn't celebrating blindly. He was warning quietly.
You do know I got his first song to play on Hot 97 with Funk Flex. Nobody want to play his song. They blocking him. They just, look at his documentary. He gives Fat Joe the credit. He from the Bronx. I know him since he was a kid.
This is for congratulations for his engagement, man.
No.
You took it to the desert. You taking it back. The promo was
because I'm looking at it. Listen, I'm looking at it, and congratulations, but my mano. What did the good do the sandwich? The Ak way?
The Aki way.
Don't get the Aki way. Stay focused.
Joe's been around long enough to see the difference between love and leverage. He's seen artists lose themselves in partnerships that looked perfect on paper, but broke them down in private. He's seen fame marry legacy before, and it never ends without cost. To him, this wasn't about whether French loved her. It was about whether French knew what came with her.
Table, and I'm sure there were some other ones also.
Yeah. I came to Steve Rifkin when I had Chopper Down.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in the office, it was him and Gabi.
Yep.
And Gabi was manager. I was like, yo, Steve, give me $200,000. Let me go make music. You know what I'm saying? Just let me. Steve was like, nah, I'll give it to you.
Never got it.
I dropped.
Which is funny because Gabi's the president of SRC. Steve is like the CEO, but
so I don't know what type of
but Steve makes the final call.
Yeah. So I asked for $200,000. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
her family wasn't just rich. They were established. The kind of wealth that doesn't post, doesn't brag, and doesn't need validation. They had land, businesses, connections in places that money can't buy. They were the type of dynasty that controlled circles, not followed trends. For a rapper who built his name from the ground up, this was unfamiliar territory. French was stepping into an empire where reputation was currency, and mistakes had consequences. And Fat Joe saw that. He knew the difference between success earned and power inherited. He knew that stepping into that world meant playing by rules that French didn't create. Joe wasn't the kind of friend to interfere, but he's the kind of brother who protects what he respects. He'd watched French rise from the streets to the stage, from hustling mixtapes to owning mansions. But love can blind even the sharpest man. Joe pulled him aside before the ceremony, not to scare him, but to center him. He reminded him that power changes people, and proximity to power changes them even faster. Because once you marry into a kingdom, it's not just your name on the line, it's your freedom. Every move becomes political, every decision gets weighed against the family's legacy, and Joe knew that even kings get crushed if they forget whose castle they're in. To the world, it looked like a fairy tale, but in Joe's eyes, it looked like chess. French wasn't just marrying a woman, he was marrying into influence. Her family had connections in business, fashion, government, philanthropy, every corner of high society. It wasn't just luxury, it was leverage. As the months passed, the glow of the wedding began to fade, replaced by the rhythm of reality. French's world of freedom and expression met their world of structure and reputation. The laughter, the energy, the spontaneous lifestyle he lived started to feel heavy under expectation. It wasn't just about him anymore, it was about image, about maintaining appearances, protecting the brand, and upholding a name that existed for generations. Fat Joe watched from the sidelines, knowing what was happening, not from gossip, but from instinct. He'd seen it before. Fame gives you wings, legacy gives you chains. Joe started noticing small things. French posting less, speaking less freely, staying more guarded. The man who once thrived on connections started becoming careful. It wasn't fear, it was awareness. He was learning the hard truth that when you marry into power, you don't just gain privilege, you lose privacy. French came from independence, a man who built his brand with grit and grind. Her world came from influence, a family that never had to fight for credibility. The union was beautiful on paper, but behind the scenes, two worlds were trying to coexist. French's rhythm was freedom. Theirs was tradition. He wanted to move with art. They wanted him to move with approval. And Joe, ever the realist, knew that's where most powerful couples break. Not from hate, but from difference. You can't teach a kingdom to live like a hustler, and you can't teach a hustler to bow like royalty. At some point, Joe and French sat down in private. No cameras, no entourage. Joe didn't lecture. He leveled with him. He reminded French that love is real, but power is ruthless. He told him to protect his heart like his career depended on it. Because in this world, as time went on, French began to adjust. He learned how to navigate the dynasty's world, how to smile at the right moments, how to move in silence, how to play their game without losing himself. Joe watched him grow through it all, proud but cautious. Because no matter how strong a man is, love inside power always tests him differently. This wasn't about fame anymore, it was about identity. French had gained access to a world most only dream of. But that world came with rules. The dynasty had traditions that didn't bend, expectations that didn't fade. He wasn't just part of the family, he was part of the image. Joe saw it in his posture, in his tone, in how careful he'd become. It wasn't fear, it was adaptation. Years from now, people might forget the headlines, the photos, and the rumors. But they'll remember the message, that love and legacy don't always mix easily. Fat Joe never tried to stop him, he just wanted him to see clearly. He wanted him to understand that when you marry power, you don't just say "I do" to a person, you say it to a system. And that system doesn't break for love. French learned to adapt, to move with awareness, to balance affection with strategy. And Joe? He stayed watching, proud of his brother, but always hoping he never forgets the truth that even in a kingdom, the crown is heavy. In the end, Fat Joe's warning wasn't about fear, it was about foresight. He knew what French was walking into: beauty, influence, and the kind of pressure that can make or break a man. French didn't marry for status, but status came with the marriage. And that's the part the world forgets. Love isn't the challenge. It's everything that comes attached to it. Joe had seen empires built and destroyed by love. That wasn't ready for power. He just wanted his brother to survive both. Because in a dynasty, the love might be real, but the politics never sleep. After the ceremonies faded and the lights dimmed, reality began to whisper. The palace-sized homes, the fine dinners, the private jets, they all looked perfect on the surface. But perfection has a price. French started to feel the invisible pressure of being tied to a legacy bigger than himself. He wasn't just a husband anymore, he was a symbol, a piece of the family brand. Every handshake mattered, every outfit mattered, every headline mattered. There's a certain kind of luxury that doesn't liberate, it traps. French had access to everything, but not everyone. Even his laughter started to feel rehearsed in public spaces, his movements watched by people who spoke in polished tones but calculated minds. Joe knew that world. He'd brushed against it before, through friends and investors who smiled with their teeth, but never with their hearts. He saw the same patterns emerging. French wasn't living in a marriage anymore. He was living in an institution. And institutions, no matter how beautiful, demand obedience.